Hey everybody, I hope you guys are doing well. I'm doing well. Happy holidays if you guys celebrate. I just wanted to hop on here and give an update about what has been happening. So last time we spoke, basically we left off that we had an appointment and we got to see the babies and meet the doctor for the first time, and that they looked like little gummy bears and that they were doing well, and that my surrogate had some blood work ordered. And basically, to make an extremely long story short, they were not able to run the blood work, which I knew going into it that she was not a candidate for this blood work. It's the non-invasive prenatal testing, specifically the panorama test by the Natera company. I knew that she wasn't. I knew it because it's too many DNAs. She's a surrogate carrying 2 donated embryos, basically. So it's too much to pick up. And I knew that, but I thought, maybe they'll just test it anyway, and if something comes up, we'll test further. If nothing comes up, then clearly no one has any genetic issues or whatever. And if nothing else, we could have the gender from the test, because that shouldn't change, you know? But they just didn't run it at all. And that was only frustrating because, number one, they did take her blood. So they still, invaded her arm or whatever, to get the blood unnecessarily. So, because she had to go to a separate lab for that, not like what her regular blood panel was. She had to go to a separate one and have that drawn. So it was really like, I felt bad for her because, no one loves to have blood drawn, and she took off work to go, whatever. So, and the other thing that was frustrating was we were calling the doctor's office like every other day and asking if the blood work had come in, and they knew that they weren't able to run it. Natera told them that like almost right away. So we did that for 2 weeks, and they just said that no, the blood work hadn't come in. And so finally, when we got into the office, the nurse was like, oh, I knew you guys were coming in, so I was just gonna wait to tell you. And while that is annoying on its own, the biggest concern I have with it is because we couldn't do the NIPT, we needed to have what's called an NT scan, which is like a nuchal translucency. It's like the alternative to that, to test for the genetic markers, and it's an ultrasound. And that has to be done before 14 weeks, and we weren't even going until 13 weeks. So we had 1 week to get into a different doctor's office, and guess what? We didn't. So today we're 14 weeks, and we're going in tomorrow, so she'll be 14 weeks in 1 day. And I know that that's, like, they're aware of that, and it's not like a huge game changer or anything. It's still, like, frustrating. And the other thing that was, I had to ask for it. Like when she was like, oh yeah, we weren't able to do that test. And I was like, okay, so when's the NT? And she was like, oh, okay, yeah, you can have that done. Like, if I hadn't known about it or done my research or had been pregnant before or whatever, we just wouldn't have got it done. And while I don't even know what we're gonna do with the information with the genetic screenings, but it's good to know and prepare and just be as informed as you can be. And we should just be offered these things. But I have no problem like advocating for my children, but still, it's just been kind of a little bit frustrating. And I actually had this conversation with my husband recently, like if things weren't going so normally for her and for the babies, like if they weren't measuring well or, if anything was off, I would be mad. But because everything is fine, I'm like trying to just go with the flow, because if there was something if something was going on and they were still this like nonchalant and like not concerned and whatever, it would upset me because I would feel like, well, you're not testing and something could be wrong. But anyway, I mean, I'm very thankful that that's the case, that we're able to be lax about this right now because things have been kind of going to plan. But I'd rather over-test for things, we're willing to pay for it. I want her to have peace of mind, and I want to have peace of mind. But anyway, so we're going tomorrow. We'll be 14 weeks 1 day. I'm going at 1 p.m. tomorrow, and I'm happy for that. I'm happy that we're going to go to an office that has a really good ultrasound machine. The ultrasound machine at our office is like not awesome, and we don't even have an ultrasound tech. The doctor does all the ultrasounds, which sounds like it would be really cool. However, because of that, we can't have the like NT done there. She's like, I'm not an ultrasound tech, I'm a doctor. I'm like, okay. So, aren't you the one that reviews the ultrasounds? Like, wouldn't you know what to look for? But whatever, doesn't matter, it's fine. I'm happy we're going to go to this other place where they specialize in it, and it's a high-risk doctor. But I say all that to say this: we obviously do not know the genders still, and there is a possibility that we could find out tomorrow. I don't know for sure. I do have an idea of how I'm going to reveal it to my husband and children, if we are able to. And I've kind of just told him, though, like, I don't think we're going to find out till like 20 weeks, you know, knowing that we obviously will, because there are no surprises in this process. None. Nothing is like unexpected necessarily. I mean, obviously, like, knowing that both of the babies stuck was a surprise, because it could have been just one or could have been none or whatever. That's a surprise. But there's nothing that's like there's anticipation and then, you know, oh, surprise, just like when you find out you're pregnant, when you tell your family that what the gender is. And so I kind of wanted to do something special for him and for them. So I've got this idea on how I'm going to like let them find out. I'll already know because I'll be at the visit, obviously, and that's fine. Like I don't want to really be surprised. I don't like do surprises well. Like I have like a very not shocked surprise face, and so I'd rather just film their reactions to it, and then that's how I'm going to share it with the rest of the world. We don't have social media, so I'm just going to film them finding out and then send that video to everybody. I haven't decided if I want to post it here, only because I'm still kind of on the fence about sharing my kids on here, only because of everything that's going on with YouTube right now, and like that whole side of things. I need to kind of talk with my husband and really think about if that's something I want to do or not. Either way, obviously I'll do some kind of reveal for the channel, but I don't know that it's going to be their reactions necessarily. Okay, an update on how my surrogate is feeling. She unfortunately is still extremely nauseous. However, previously she has been having food aversion, so nothing really sounds good. And if something does sound good and she's able to eat it, it doesn't taste good in the moment. And then she's kind of just like has no energy because she wasn't able to eat a lot. The difference now is that kind of has worn off a little bit. The, oh, I don't want anything, or I just don't feel good. I don't think I want to eat. Where she can find things that sound okay, but then once she's eaten, the food doesn't sit well. So I'm hoping that's a sign of it just kind of tapering off. We are in the second trimester now, so that usually is the time when things kind of ease off. It is 2 babies, and so I know that a lot of times some twin mamas can say that it lasted longer than like their singletons, and sometimes twin mamas don't have any nausea at all, but it can kind of be a little bit more sometimes. And every pregnancy is just so different. When she did stop her progesterone, the injections that she was giving herself for this IVF process, we were hoping that would really like help, like, oh, she won't be as pumped full of hormones at the time. It really didn't change anything. The only thing that stopped at that point was like the spotting and the any bleeding that she had. And I don't know if that was related or not, but she hasn't had any more of that, which is awesome. She's able to feel them fluttering around in there. She's not feeling like kicks and punches or whatever, but she can definitely feel like that butterfly wing kind of feeling, which is really cool to know. I can't wait till I can feel them too, if she lets me, if she's comfortable with that. But it's cool that, like, I mean, it's just one step closer to it being more and more real. And so at our last visit, we got to have an ultrasound, just because she's still too early to have like an external Doppler. And especially with twins, it's just hard because and they're so close together still. And I mean, they'll always be close together, but I mean, they're kind of so buried, but also close together. It's going to be hard to tell 2 heartbeats right now. So we got to do the ultrasound, and their heart rates were running around 160, give or take like one. I think they were like 2 beats apart or something. And we could see them on the ultrasound, and they were headbutting each other. One was sucking their toes, the other one had their thumb in their mouth, and one would kick off the other one and like slam into the wall of their sack and then bounce back, and they would hit heads and kicking all over upside down. I mean, they were super active. So that was really cool to see. They all have their little fingers and toes. You could see their spine perfectly, their little profiles. Still, because of the way that they're positioned, you can't see both of them in one frame. All you could see was their heads in one picture, but they are, the way that they're in there, it's like you can see one or the other, depending on how, I mean, as they get bigger, that'll change, of course. But currently, where they are, they're not small enough to be seen next to each other, but they're big enough to be like right behind one another. So we could definitely see baby A better than baby B. He or she was kind of like tucked behind, and just kept like giving us the back, like roll, and I don't know, like didn't want pictures, which was funny, but. So I'm really holding out hope that tomorrow we get to see really good pictures of them, and that the ultrasound tech is like cool, and we'll check like a potty shot just to see, because I'm just curious. I want to start shopping for stuff. I know it's early. I've been thinking about planning a video of just showing you guys the stuff that I already have, because I've been like stocking up. And we also had, like I said, that surprise baby shower, so we got some stuff then too. And every time I'm at the store, I just kind of like casually go by the baby aisle and see if there's anything neutral-ish that is cute, and then I buy 2 of them. I have this feeling that we're not gonna do super matchy outfits necessarily. I mean, we will get a lot of those and we will obviously use them, but I don't think that's gonna be like a thing that we do. My sister and I were dressed alike a lot as a kid, and we did not enjoy it. And these babies will always be the twins. And so I just want them to be able to be their own little people. And so I'm sure that a lot of times we will, just because we will be gifted those outfits, or it'll be easier or whatever. But I'm kind of thinking more of like corresponding rather than the same. And if they're different genders, obviously we won't like force them to wear the same clothes. But anyway, just wanted to throw that in there. So I think I'm gonna do, in my next update video, I thought I would also show you guys like the clothes that we've gotten, and just stuff in general we got, because on Black Friday, I found some really cool stuff. So I think that'll be next. The other thing is I'd like to do a video talking about baby names, and maybe get some opinions on what you guys think of names, and some suggestions too, because we could totally use them. And actually, if you guys don't mind, maybe below, if you could comment your 2 favorite girl names and 2 favorite boy names, that would be really helpful, because we've got for sure 1 boy and 1 girl name, and we may even have 2 girl names that we like, but I just like to be fully prepared and have like 2 locked and loaded, and we did for a while, and then my husband's like taste on it changed. So, it's kind of just like my kids, like it's 1 second it's this and the next second it's that. But anyway, so as soon as we know the genders, we will probably start calling them their names, but I still would like to like have ideas. So if you guys can think of any, please let me know. Other than that, like I said, we do have that appointment tomorrow, and we have our hospital tour on Sunday. So we're going to the hospital. I'll be meeting my surrogate there, and just walking around and because they have like a whole new birthing unit at this hospital, which is really cool. And I'm excited to see what it's going to be like. So far, there's no reason that she's been given that she will have to have a C-section. Obviously, it's too early. The babies could be breech. She could, whatever, that could all change. But still, the doctor's going to give her that option unless something changes, and she's excited about that. So I want whatever she wants and whatever's safe. So I'm hoping that they have a really good, comfortable unit for her, so she can feel at home while she's, in labor and stuff. Aside from that, thank you guys for watching this video, and I really hope to have more good news, exciting news very soon. Have a good one. Bye.